Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Edinburgh. Now, it doesn't seem like that long ago I was here collecting my Ford Focus RS Mark III, which is a car I love and continue to enjoy. But I don't know what it is about Scotland, or in particular this part of Scotland, because I'm here to pick up another car, and it's another Ford, and it's another RS. This is a dream car of mine. Now, this one is a project, and it's a lot older than the Focus RS Mark III that I picked up last time, because today I'm here in Edinburgh to collect my Ford Sierra Sapphire RS Cosworth, a 4x4 Cosworth in moondust silver. I cannot wait. So it's just gone 8 o'clock, and the seller, Stuart, is coming to the airport to pick me up, which is really kind of him. So the next time I see you, I'll either be driving my Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth, or I'll be booking a flight and trying to get home. Let's see how we get on. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks. I've bought it! A Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. I never ever in my wildest dreams thought I'd own one of these, and well, here it is. And before I tell you about the car, let's talk about the journey. So, flew up from Bristol this morning, but actually the journey started for me yesterday when I set off from home there in Cornwall. This really is a planes, trains and automobiles story. So I crossed the ferry first of all there at Tor Point, taking me into Devon. Then I grabbed a cab into the Plymouth train station. From there I jumped on the train and went up to Bristol, where I spent the evening. This morning I got dropped to the airport and I flew up to Edinburgh, where Stuart, the previous owner of this car, kindly picked me up and gave me a lift home, where we had a conversation. I had a decent look around the car. I bought it and now I'm driving it home. And what a drive it is too. The last time we did this, well, it was in a 66 plate Ford Focus RS Mark III. And I was pretty confident I'd make it. This time I'm in a 31-year-old Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. Wow, a Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. And well, this car has only done about 500 miles in the last 12 to 14 years. In fact, it was off the road for 12 years before Stuart, who's owned it for 4, a couple of years ago, restored it back onto the road. He's done quite a bit to it. He's put new shock absorbers on it, a new fuel tank, a new timing belt on the car, lots and lots of mechanical work to make sure that YB engine is nice and strong. And he's really confident that this car will make it home. So far, I filled it up with fuel, I brimmed the car. I noticed we've got a little fuel leak, but thankfully it's only when you brim the car, so I have to get that checked out. We've still got most of a full tank of fuel. In fact, it didn't drop the needle at all. It must have just been that very top bit there in the fuel neck. So I have to sort that out and not fill the car right up again on this drive home. I've also put a little bit of oil in the car just to make sure we've got enough to make this, well, what is 370-ish mile drive back to Bristol. So a real test for our Sierra Cosworth on this first drive. But right now, well, I've done 50 miles in the car. I will be honest, I've done 50 miles in the car already because I just wanted to sit and experience this dream car of mine on my own for those first 50 miles, and it's been brilliant. I stopped just now for a coffee and I bought myself a pie ready for lunchtime, but it's what now? It's 11:30, so I've still got quite a bit of driving ahead of me. I think from here, it's still about 5 hours of driving, so a big test for the Sierra Sapphire. Now, why come all this way for a Sierra Sapphire Cosworth project when I probably could have bought one fairly locally? Well, to my mind, this car was pretty cheap when you compare it to other Sierra Cosworths that are out there. And I will tell you how much I paid for this car, but I'm going to tell you at the end of the video, because right now I'm interested to know, will my fairly cheap Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth make it all the way back to Cornwall, stopping tonight in Bristol? So fingers crossed we make it. At this juncture it's running really nicely, but who knows? So at the end of the video I'll tell you if this car really was good value, or if I bought myself a bag of problems. Okay, I said this car was a project. Well, the first thing to say, I'm driving the car now, cruising nicely at 65 miles an hour. and the ABS light is on. It's not on at low speeds, it is on at high speeds. So that's something we need to sort out. Also, the horn on this lovely Cosworth leather steering wheel isn't working. Something else for us to sort out. But you know you're in a Cosworth when you're sat here. Yeah, you've got the leather Recaro seats, you've got the steering wheel, as I've said, you've got all the Cosworth trim bits, but what you also have is a speedometer that reads 170 miles an hour, and that was unique to the Sierra Cosworths. So what else is a project when it comes to this car? Well, I stopped just now at services, I set the camera up, and whilst I was there, I shot a quick walk around of the car. So here it is. Right, let's take a quick walk around my Moondust Silver Ford Sierra Cosworth. I can't quite believe I'm saying that. Okay, around the front first of all, as we zoom in, that front fog lamp needs changing out. It's gone a bit dark, got one of those at home, so that's fine. Looking good from a distance, this car, but when you get up close, I said it's a project, and you can see here on the bonnet, I don't know if you can see it, there's some paint that's kind of bubbled up there, but that'll be done because the car's going to be fully painted. Again, coming back and around to this side, softline wheels look great. We'll keep them for a while, but in the car we do have the original lattice 15-inch alloy wheels, which will go back on. They need a refurb. I think I've actually got about 9 of them at home as well. So on with the walk around. Original front wings on this car, which is nice, but you'll see there a bit of corrosion that's caught, so we'll sort that out. And that little bit of side skirt there, which is the wrong colour, again, we'll get that painted. Missing the jack-in point cover as well, but they are in the car, so I can get them painted as well. They're black at the moment. Around the back looking lovely, all the badges are there. As we come up nice and close here, you'll see that arch needs sorting out, but again, I'll get that done. In fact, this car was supplied with replacement arches, which is nice. Around the back it's looking lovely. Original dealer plate there as well, isn't that nice? Coming from Dalblair of Air Ford. Around here, car obviously had a car phone back in the day. The aerial's still there. It's all original glass on this car, which is nice. All etched with the security number. Again, we'll come back down this side of the car. You can see that arch again needs sorting out. We'll do that one as well. I think the other one's actually a little bit worse. And around here to the front where we started, 4x4 badge is still intact, which is nice. Windscreen right there, headlight wipers are all there, which is good. Original front grille. Let's come inside the car. There we go. You can see at the moment in the back, if you can see it, all the car bits are there, so where that. Here inside we've got the Raven black leathers. They're looking in pretty good condition. Original steering wheel. You'll see those terrible boost and oil pressure and water temperature gauges, all of which will come out. Again, we're fortunate enough to have the original vents with this car, so we'll get that sorted out too. So we're at a service station at the moment in Scotland, long way to go, but the car, that's the quick and initial walk around. Well, there you go. That's a lot of the work that I think the car needs. That ABS light and all that bodywork that we need to do. Well, that's as much as I know at the moment. Now, I also shot a quick video underneath the bonnet. I'll show you that in a second. But before I do, we're passing someone right now who's got the right idea. He's transporting his BMW 8 Series project home on a trailer, which is probably what I should have done. But hey, that's the challenge, isn't it? Trying to get this car home. And I'm certain that it will make it. Well, I'm certain, sat here now, cruising at the speed that we are, really comfortably in my Sierra Cosworth. But I tell you what, I've got a few old cars and, well, I really enjoy driving them, and I know that they get a fair bit of attention when out and about, but I have never known a car get so much attention as this car is. I get people driving by, beeping horns and waving at me. I stopped at services just now where I was chased down by a couple of chaps in a van who wanted to stop and look over the car. And then as I was leaving, a couple honked their horn and said, "Nice car," about this Sierra Cosworth. So there's something about these Cosworths that really does encourage the car enthusiast out of everyone, which is really, really lovely. Let's hope they don't see it in a moment, parked on the side of the road with the bonnet up and waiting for the AA. Fingers crossed we don't get there. Anyway, as I said, I did shoot a quick short video of the under bonnet, the engine. So let's take a look. Quick view under the bonnet. Look at that red top. YB Cosworth engine, look at that. Wow. Okay, what's nice about this? Nice clear coolant, which is good. Got the original airbox, which is nice. Original turbo cover, Garrett turbo there. Looking good. We've got a dump valve here and some green injectors. Don't know if you can see them just down there. And also this oil pressure thing, which I'll try and get rid of if I can. The car is stage 3 tuned, so it does have some modifications under here. The nice thing is, here's the timing belt, which has been changed recently, but I've actually got the original Cosworth timing belt cover. I'll put a picture up of it now. It's a nice thing to have. So looking really clean under here, not dripping oil, which is nice. So there we go. Right, 65 miles done, 320-ish to go to get back to Bristol. 70 miles an hour, nice clear road. The rain stopped, which is nice. Car's running well. All the signs are good. I'll pick up this video in a few hours time and give you an update. I'll also talk about some of the modifications that are on this car, because as you can see, this car is not entirely standard. Wish me luck, and I'll see you in a bit. So far, so good then. We're just driving past Liverpool and we've just clocked over 200 trouble-free miles. Well, trouble-free with the exception of that little fuel issue that we had right back there at the beginning. The car's driving really well, temperature gauge is good, car's driving nice and straight, still that ABS light on. We're learning as we go. Now, I did say that I'd talk a little bit about the modifications that are on this car. I reckon this car is pushing sort of 300 brake horsepower, and it performs really well as a result. We're actually in a contraflow system at the moment, so kind of 50 mile an hour limit, otherwise I'd have shown you. So this car has an engine management chip on it. I believe it's called, now I'll get this wrong, a Ahmed Bayo chip. I don't know, I'll put it up down here. So it's got this engine management chip on the car. A few of the modifications, modified exhaust, the green injectors I've already talked about. It's also got this weird, and I'm not really entirely sure what it is. Oh, we'll go out the contraflow, let's go. Show you a bit of performance. Here we go, nice bit of turbo lag, and then, oh, lovely. And this car also has a kind of additional, what looks like aluminium expansion tank or breather of some sort for the oil. I'll show you a picture of it now. Basically, I believe that's there to monitor and maintain the oil pressure in the car as a result of that engine management work. But one thing that's weird about it is it's got a pipe that comes off it, which appears to drain into the atmosphere. It drops below the car, so the car is dropping a bit of oil, and as a result I stopped just now and did put a litre of oil in this car. It brought the level up to an acceptable level and the car is driving well, the engine's sounding good. But something that we need to look at, we know that the valve stem oil seals probably need attention because he puts out a little bit of blue smoke, not too much but a little bit. But this weird oil breather or reservoir, well, it really needs a bit of attention because the car is dropping oil. That cannot be right. Don't really understand modifications on cars. It's not something that I get into myself, and I think we will take this car back a little bit down the power just to turn it into a slightly more standard feel. But having said that, it performs brilliantly. I do like the way it drives, so we won't take it back all the way to the sort of 215 brake horsepower these cars should have, or 220, whatever it was. Anyway, yeah, just over 200 miles, 227 miles we've done now, so about another 160 or so back to Bristol. And as it stands, we pass Liverpool, well, my confidence is growing with every mile. I'll pick it up with you when we get to Bristol. The weather has really changed on me. My goodness, it's hammering down out there and there's water all over the road. Here, take a look. I don't actually know if that video focused that well, but you get an idea of how wet it is out there. And also, it's 4:45, loads more cars on the road. We're just getting into rush hour, and with the traffic that we experience at Stoke-on-Trent and this, probably delayed me by around an hour. Cosworth is coping really well in the traffic. It's not its favourite place, you can tell, but it's coping really well. Hopefully this clears in a minute. I did check the oil again just now when I stopped at services, and the oil level was okay as well. So we're 287 miles in, about 100 to go. This really is the last leg, and it could be the most taxing for the Cosworth. I really hope, if I'm going to break down, I really hope it's not in this weather. Anyway, I'll report back in a minute. Stay tuned. So I'm about 10 miles from Bristol, and well, I'm starting to believe that I'm going to make it this epic drive in this Sierra Sapphire Cosworth from Edinburgh all the way down to Bristol. In fact, I'll put on the screen now the total mileage for today, so you'll know before I do if indeed I have made it to Bristol. It's only part of the journey. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be taking this car home. The remainder of the journey, around another 125 miles down to Cornwall, but I'm sure it will make it, seeing as it's driven what I imagine will be around sort of 380 miles. What more have we learned about this car? We got a bulb out, not the end of the world. I've noticed also that the parking brake light doesn't work. That ABS light's still on, but the parking brake light isn't coming on. And well, I bought the most expensive litre of oil I think I've ever bought from motorway services to top this car up. In fact, the litre of oil was more expensive than my flight from Bristol to Edinburgh. That is absolute madness. This car is consuming a bit of oil, so we definitely have to see to those valve stem oil seals and get rid of that awful oil catcher or whatever it is. That's got to go. Otherwise, this car's driven really well. We've had rain, we've had sun, we've had traffic. My goodness, going from the M6 to the M5, the traffic was terrible. And well, this 31-year-old Sierra really has coped with everything, well, very, very well. I've been about 9 hours in this car today. That's a long time, but I've certainly got to know it well. I've done all 9 hours, by the way, without a stereo. I don't think in all that stuff behind me that I've actually got the original stereo for this car. So I'm going to have to source one. I think it came with a Ford 2000 stereo. I'll find out, and we'll feature that, I'm sure, at some point in the future. But as for now, it's 6:45, should be there at about 7 o'clock. And well, I'm looking forward to something to eat and a decent snooze. I'll see you again tomorrow, where we'll do the remainder of this journey, and we'll end this video with going through everything that's in the back. Let's see all the parts that have come with this car. I actually don't know, I haven't even opened the boot yet, so have a good look at what's behind me at the end of the video, and I'll also tell you how much I paid for it. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Morning then everyone, here we are, day 2 in Bristol, and now it's a trip to Exeter. So, nice cold start for the Cosworth. Nice lot of oil in the car. Let's see how we get on. Got one of these classic kind of 90s immobilizers to do first of all. There we are, and good start. Let's go. So 382 miles yesterday in the end. And well, really, this car didn't miss a beat. It was great fun to drive all the way down, apart from that traffic. Today, well, this jaunt, probably about sort of 75 miles down to Exeter, where I'm going to work the day and then drive the remaining sort of 60 miles home to Cornwall this evening. And we're just about to cross the lovely Clifton Suspension Bridge as we leave Bristol in our Sierra Sapphire Cosworth, day 2. I've just crossed over the Devon border. Exeter's about probably 20 miles away from here. And well, commuting to work in this car, it's just like it would have been back in the 90s when this thing was new. And what a brilliant car to commute to work. The thumbs up, the waves, the admiring glances of the Cosworth have continued right the way through this drive. It really has been quite uneventful. The car has been, well, it's been brilliant. In fact, the only thing of note on this trip is the fact I had to pay £2.19 for a litre of fuel. I put about 30 quid in earlier on today at service. It's £2.19, it's ridiculous. But the car's actually done really well, miles per gallon wise. What have we done? 437 miles so far, and probably used just over a tank of fuel. I won't be able to give you a precise number on this drive because I can't fuel the car right up at the moment, because it does leak when it gets right to the top. We have to get that sorted out, and then maybe in a future video we'll talk about how fuel efficient this car is. But one thing we haven't talked about is the performance of this car. I've told you about all the work that's been done, and well, the performance, it's proper old school lag, but when you put your foot down, it really takes off. God dear, this car's a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Yeah, so I want to go to work now, do a day's work, and then we'll pick this up probably as I drive into Cornwall. And then remember, do stay tuned. We'll have a look at everything that's in the boot, and I will tell you how much I paid for this Sierra Sapphire Cosworth project. I'll see you in a few hours. Fast forward a few hours and I'm about to drive into Plymouth, and more than that, I'm about to clock 500 miles. The car's done 498 miles, and that's a real achievement for this Sapphire Cosworth, bearing in mind it was rested up for 12 years, only recommissioned 2 years ago. But during those 2 years, well, it's only done 500 miles, so we've done that distance again in just the past 24 hours. So I'm going to drive through Plymouth, head for the Tor Point ferry, and well, that's where this all started, this journey. Me crossing the ferry and grabbing that cab to go up to Bristol, to fly to Edinburgh, to pick this car up, to drive it back to Bristol, to drive it back to Exeter, to work the day, and now finally to get down into the southwest and cross over into Cornwall. And I've learned lots about this car. The ABS light's still on. It's definitely burning oil, this car. In fact, when you're on overrun and you just accelerate away from that overrun, there really is a big blue puff of smoke that comes out of the back of this car. So those valve stem oil seals and that oil catcher have got to be sorted out as an absolute priority. Now, it's not my intention to do the restoration until the winter, so we'll do the engine work, drive the car for a month, but then it's going away, because this car represents a bit of a change in direction for my car collection. I need to sell a few cars really to be able to have this and the other RSs in the collection. So some will be going to make way for this and the Mark III RS that's already joined the collection. But don't worry, still be putting out lots of content about my cars and about lots of other cars of interest that come through my hands. This car's also going to look really, really good next to my 1992 Ford Sierra XR 4x4, which has got the updated dashboard. It's a post-facelift car, that one, so lots of subtle differences, and look forward to parking these next to one another and enjoying them at lots of local shows and doing some road trips and various things like that. So currently in the collection, well, there's 3 RSs and 3 Ford XRs and a Ford Sport Car, don't forget that. Oh, and our Ford Focus ST, that Colorado red car. So lots of Fords at the moment in the collection, but really, really enjoying them. Anyway, Plymouth is looking lovely and sunny. I'll make sure I take a photograph when we clock 500 miles, just about half a mile to go now, and I'll make sure that I take a picture of this car back on the ferry. So next time you see me, well, we'll take a look at everything that's in the boot of this Sierra Sapphire Cosworth that's driven all the way from Edinburgh to Cornwall without any real trouble. Lots of learning, as I've said, but looking forward to starting the work on this car and really realising the potential of my Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. It's back in Cornwall in the garage. This is the day after that drive from Exeter to Cornwall. The day before that, of course, all the way from Edinburgh. The car did 504 miles. And look what I found in the wardrobe. Little did I know it would take me 25 years to get the car to match the t-shirt, and it still fits. Anyway, something else I realised on the drive back yesterday is that we hit 100,000 subscribers on the channel. So thanks so much for everyone who's watching. Right, now let's take all the stuff out of the car. Let's see what came with it. And well, then I'm going to reveal how much I paid for this cheap, it's not really that cheap, but cheap Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. Right, let's take a look and see what we've got. I'll do this. Ready? Here we are then. This is everything that was in the boot of my Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. And what was really nice was to put those back seats up for the first time and take a look. First time I've seen them, they look great. Here's a photograph. So what have we got? Well, first of all, we've got 2 keys with this Sierra Cosworth, which is brilliant. And 2 of the laser line immobilizer tags as well, which is good. Also, car comes with the original book pack, which is nice. Some tax discs, all a bit of history here, and a nice lot of receipts. So I'll take a decent look through that at some point and share anything that's interesting. I mentioned this earlier as well, but really important, the Cosworth timing belt cover. Really nice to have that one. That'll certainly be going back on the car. Car also came with 4 original waffle mats, which is nice. They're in the car. That's just one to show you. Original alloy wheels. Here they are. They all need refurbishing. I've actually got a set of these anyway, which also need refurbishing. So I'll pick the worst 4 and get them done. What else have we got? The original vents, which is nice. Going to put them back and get rid of those gauges. This looks like a box of original hoses, which is nice. There's another piece of the side skirt. What else is in here? Jubilee clips. Looks like an alternator in here. Oh, there's a Ford oil filter. Nice. I shall go through all that, but that looks like all original engine parts. Oh, bottle of fuel additive. What else is in here? This is the original boot lock. So the car itself has got 1 key for the doors and the ignition, and the boot lock, apparently it's seized, so it's got a different key, and there is the original lock if I want to put it right. What else is in here? I mentioned it yesterday, but that looks like the jack and point cover. Nice, got a couple of those here. Another one there, there you go. All good. Looks like we've got a gasket set for the car, which is good because we definitely need to do those valve stem oil seals. It is really spilling oil out of the exhaust at the moment, and that blue smoke that needs to be sorted out. And a pair of rear arches, so that's good. And this looks like just there a front wing as well. I don't actually think we need a front wing, but we've got one nonetheless. So a nice treasure trove of parts here to go on the Sierra to help me kind of build that car back up. It's properly exciting and a little bit overwhelming, if I'm honest. There's lots to do with that car, and the more I look, the more I see. So next job is to get it up to the garage, to get that engine work sorted out, that ABS light, to make sure that the valve stem oil seals or the valve guides are done, and hope that it's not piston rings. I really don't think that it is. To get that all done, and just to get rid of that oil breather or that catch tank. Let's get rid of that as well and stop the car dripping oil wherever it parks. You'll see that when I drove into the garage, there's some cardboard behind me, and that's to catch the oil. So the big question, how much did I pay for this 31-year-old, bit rusty Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth? And I paid, I mean, prices are mad at the moment. I never really thought that I'd get one. I paid £15,750 for the car. Now, I think that's good value, but I'd love to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comments below whether you think I've got a good deal, an all right deal, or a bad deal. I certainly think I've got some money on it, but I think for about 22,000 all in, we should have a very, very good car. And I promise you that I will share the entire journey with you here on the channel. I'm certain this car has got some surprises and some secrets up its sleeve. So let's learn those together. For now though, I'm going to store all this. I'm going to put the Sierra back here in the garage I'm not going to think about it for a while. Book it in at the garage and let's get that work done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you thought this is interesting, this collection of this Sapphire Cosworth. Promise I'll share the entire journey with you. So please, if you haven't done already, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Click like and do let me know your thoughts on the car. It'd be great to hear from you. For me, as I say, putting this away, getting the car away, and probably have a little break at the moment from my Sierra Sapphire Cosworth before I get cracking with it very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you again, and it's bye for now. Bye-bye.